Hey there, now we will be working on Mastery 8 and 30. Mastery 8 is Python Conventions Sen of Python. The Sen of Python is a document wrote by Tim Peters in August of 2004. This document establishes 19 software principles that influence the design of the Python programming language. These principles are shown whenever you type the command import this on a Python interpreter. So let's try it out. So, there it is. Let me read it for you. The Zen of Python by Tim Peters. Beautiful is better than ugly. Explicit is better than implicit. Simple is better than complex. Complex is better than complicated. Flat is better than nested. Sparse is better than dense. Readability counts. Special cases aren't special enough to break the rules. Although practicality beats purity, error should never pass silently, unless explicitly silenced. In the face of ambiguity, refuse the temptation to guess. There should be one, and preferably only one, obvious way to do it, although that may not be obvious at first unless you're Dutch. Now is better than never, although never is often better than right now. If the implementation is hard to explain, it's a bad idea. If the implementation is easy to explain, it may be a good idea. Namespaces are one honking great idea. Let's do more of those. So that's the end of Python. Now on to mastery number 30. Reading and writing of files in Python. For this I will use a file rule for a quiz. Um, when you want to write a file, program, you first have to understand the problem, divide it in steps, think logically which will be the first step, and you go on and you try it out. You try a chunk of program, part by part, because if not you can get lost. So you go trying until you get the right answer, the right output, and even if you get that, you can always improve your code. Um, so this problem, they asked for an output, a triangle that will be made of this, that will be the size of a number given by the user. Um, So, for example, if a user wrote 5, there will be 5 T's, then 4 T's, 3, 2, 1, and then 2, 3, until 5. It will be a triangle. Um, and we cannot use multiplication of strings, so we have to figure out another way. And they should be on the same line. So, first, if we try to read this file, um, I'm using Atom. It's a great program. Um, so we start with def, triangle, and size. We know def, that here our function will start, and we know that this is the name of the function and this is the parameter. That's not a local variable. That's important. We cannot use this variable outside of the function. So, so we know here it starts the function. We see that there's a variable named count and it's equal to the size, this variable that will be given to us. Okay, so these one are equal right now. And then we have a variable called string that will be an empty string. There's no numbers, there's no letters. And then here we have a loop while count that we know that was the same as this number is bigger than 0, it will do this. That's another loop that for each element in the range of 0 to count will do this assignment. We know which assignment is done by which loop because of the indentation. We look these have the same indentation and this one has an indentation for this loop. So from 0 to the number given, because count is equal to this number given, it will add a t to the empty string in the same line because it's concatenation of strings, we know because of this. So we'll have this empty space and a t, and if the size was 7, it's as a t, then a t, and until there are 7. So, and when that's over, it prints a string. Then it transforms a string again into an empty string, and and takes one from count. So if it was 5, the count now is 4. So in range 0 to 4, it will be 4 times, and so on until count is less than 0 or equal to 0. When that happens, then we add 2 to count, because for example we have 0 or 1, then you have 5, no? Then 4, 3, 2, 1, and if we leave it 0, there will be a space, and then if we add 1 over here, well, let's get to it. There we add 2, because if not, there will be an empty space, and 1, 2, and we don't want that. We want a triangle. So after 1, there should be 2, right? So we add count 2, and another loop. We can see that here there's a loop, and count that's now 2, because if we keep taking 1, it will eventually get to 0. So count is now, we know count is 2 so far. And then when count is less than size plus 1, so this number plus 1, maybe because we start with 2 and not with 0, not with 1. So for each element in range of 0 to count, that's 2, we will add a string. So it will start with 2 t's, then it will print the string, and then the string will be empty again, and count will be 3 because we had 1, so 3 t's and 4 until, for example, it's 5, no? At that time, size plus 1 will be 6, so it repeats accordingly. And here we can see it's the end of the function, so that's what the functions do. But it still doesn't get to work. We are calling it yet. So we see here that this variable, it's an integer, okay, but it's an input, so it asks write the size of the triangle of teeth you want. That's what's shown to the user, because and you receive a value from that. Then it's transformed to input, so that's what this meaning, and it's stored in this variable. And then we can see we're calling this function. So if you want to read this file, you can try to understand this when if you start like how the computer will process it first. It reads these instructions, but it does nothing with it. So then it starts with this input, and then there's calling it with this value. So for example, if we write 5, we can make sense of the process with that example. So that's how you would write or read a Python. If you didn't write it, or if you're looking for another code, you can try to keep the thinking process of a computer, the steps it will take, and from that you try to understand why the code is like that, what it's trying to achieve. So for sake of finishing this example, let's try it out. I'm already on the directory, and the name is example Python. And with the example we use, let's do 5, and we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this 4, 3, 2, 1. Just like we see this way here, from 0 to 5. So the string will add 5 this, and here we can see that, and it will print that here. Then the string is empty, and the count is taken is -1. So this range will be 0 to 4, so it does 4 times. So we can see this and 3, 2, and 1. Then we can see it adds 2 with this condition, and 0 to 2 it adds to this, and that's what we see here. And goes on and on, adding 1 until there are 5. And here was the input and the value we give it. So that's how you would understand the process of reading and writing a code in Python. Now I guess that's all.